In this review then guys, we shall be taking a look at the 1997 animated Disney classic movie, Hercules. So without further ado, let's get into today's review. Let's get into it. So I thought then that this Disney classic movie was really good and really solid as a Disney classic movie, what you would expect from a Disney classic movie, the musical side of things, the whole package of this superhero sort of character coming out at the end after defeating this horrible villain. That is basically the premise of any Disney classic movie you're going to see. Slight changes in so many others because most of the time it's princesses, but you get the drift. Somebody overcoming the odds, beating the villain, and then having their happily ever after sort of thing going on. And that is sort of what happens in Hercules, and it is the sort of storybook of what you would expect, like we said, in a Disney classic movie. And I think this movie is criminally underrated. I think it has everything. It doesn't get talked about, and I think a lot of the reasons why this movie doesn't get talked about, and this is my interpretation on why this one doesn't get talked about as much as some of the other Disney classic movies, is simply because this was made in the 90s of Disney. For many that don't know, 90s Disney was top fucking notch. You had the likes of The Lion King, you had the likes of Aladdin, you had the likes of Tarzan, just to name those, and even likes of Toy Story and Pixar. They were hot as shit around the 90s. And to me, I think that's why Hercules sort of get lost in the mixer in those movies. Because if you think about it, if Hercules was made in that, say, the 80s or 70s, where they were coming to fruition, Disney, I think Hercules would get talked about as an absolute classic. But to me, I think it gets undermined by the likes of Lion King and the likes of Aladdin, which are better movies, don't get me wrong. But this underrated Hercules movie suddenly gets put aside, even though it is actually a really good Disney classic movie, and it does everything, it ticks all the boxes what you would expect. Moving on then, I thought that the idea of Hercules losing most of his power, apart from his strength, he loses his invincibility at the beginning of the movie, once the bad guys basically give him this remedy in which takes away his invincibility, taking away his godly status, in which then all the way throughout the movie we follow Hercules on this journey of earning back that godly status, earning back that power, and showing his true abilities, because his father can't just grant him back his powers of invincibility and bring him back up to where he is. He's got to show that he's godly characteristics that he's got, and he's got to show his abilities suit that of a god. And I thought that journey that we go on throughout the movie was incredible. Moving on then, I did like the villain Hades, and I thought he was incredible. He's sort of like the perfect template for a Disney classic movie villain, in my opinion. As if we're looking at the great Disney classic villains, likes of Scar, the likes of Jafar, just to name those two, this guy just goes along with them. Hades is an amazing villain, cruel, horrible, nasty, and makes Hercules look brilliant. It makes him look amazing after he topples him at the end and is able to overcome his massive amounts of power, because Hades is invincible in his own right, as he's sort of like the king of the fucking death. He's basically death is what he is, and he basically wants the power that Zeus has, and him trying to take down Hercules and go, you're no longer a threat, tries to kill him as a kid, which is cruel enough, basically just to get to the top and be like the king of their version of heaven, really, and their version of sitting up in the clouds doing fuck all. And I think that version of this villain was great, and I think that made Hercules want to get to the top quicker, want to take down this horrible villain once he finds out that he's been behind all these things, setting him up sort of to try to kill him. And along the journey, although it made Hercules godlike, in fact, he was trying to kill Hercules, and it weren't just a random monster in the middle of Greece, and those things were planned by this evil Hades, and that's why I think Hades goes down as a big Disney classic villain in my personal opinion. However, I didn't think that Hades was the best thing about this movie. He was brilliant, don't get me wrong, but the best thing about this movie was Hercules and Meriga's sort of friendship / relationship throughout the movie. As we see at the start of the movie, it's sort of a bit like, oh, she's over there, and she's basically getting attacked by this big villain-like creature. And then Hercules goes, well, and at the time he's sort of training up to be this godly-like thing with Danny DeVito. And when that is happening, he doesn't really have feelings for her. He's just trying to defeat it to make himself look good. And I think their relationship then turned into full love because they not only died for each other, but then came back together alive and well. And I think that relationship escalates from being nothing and being, oh, hi, you know what I mean, you saved me sort of thing, to being where it is at the end where they're willing to sacrifice each other's lives. I think that element of things was completely not expected. So yeah, I did enjoy that in this particular movie. Finally then, I thought that the actors and actresses were incredible and did great voiceovers for the characters, as we saw the likes of Tate Donovan, Susan Egan, James Woods, Barbara Berrie, Danny DeVito and Keith David and Jim Cummings in, which were all brilliant in this particular movie. So to summarise this iconic Disney classic movie, I think that this was solid. It is very criminally underrated, hence why I rate this movie a 7.8 and a world-class film. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below, whether it is good, bad, crap, amazing. Let me know down in the comments down below, please. Also, we have noticed not enough people have been hitting that subscribe button, so hit that subscribe button, please. Hit that notification bell and hit that like button as well. That would really help our channel. So I will see you guys in the next one. Laters.